Not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isob. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. He said,
welcome, 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 fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you all to this very program, this very time, this day, morning. I appreciate you and I welcome you. For everyone that has connected to this very program, any place you are joining us from, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide you, protect you, and secure you. Please, as you join the program, kindly like and share the program. Like and share the program on your platform. Like and share to family, friends. Like and share to anybody that is close to you, whoever you think that need to hear our voice. I beg you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiama to like and share to them so that they can hear us and hear us clear. We are having a lot of obstacle online. For us to send out our message, it's not easy for us. Most of the time we are being blocked. Most of the time we are being hindered. Our notification is not being sent to our subscribers. They are hindering the Biafrans from getting the information and hearing the truth from us. They want to discourage us from sending the message across, but we will not be discouraged no matter what they do. And for the sake of the record, anybody that's watching this program, remember that you're watching a platform that is under the Biafra Republic government in exile, under the control of our Prime Minister, Masisa Manepa, and on the supreme leadership of Mazi Nandekano. You are watching from the original IPOB platform. That is where you're listening from. And what we do here in this very platform is not to instigate violence, is not to dehumanize people, it is not to preach hate, it is not to attack anybody. What we do here is to sensitize the Biafran people, to encourage Biafran people, to bring to the world the true story of the Biafran people, to tell the world the true situation of the citizens in that contraption called Nigeria, the indigenous people, to debunk every lie they have told against the Biafran people, against our Prime Minister Masisa Manepa, against our Supreme Leader Mazi Nandekano, to debunk every falsehood they are preaching against us, and to set the record straight. That is what we do on this platform, and we will continue to do so. We don't come here to push lie or propaganda. We set the record straight. Without being politically correct, we just say it the way it is. And everything we say in this platform is gospel. It's either you take it or you leave it. The people we are talking to know themselves, and they are getting the message and getting it right. It doesn't matter how they try to stop us or hinder us. We will never stop. We will continue to send message across to the world, to let the world know the true situation of things in Biafra land. They can't pretend not to see what is happening. Even when they do pretend, we have to shove it to their neck for them to be able to understand that we are not asleep. And we cannot allow them to blockade us again on media. Already, you know, the enemy we're up against, they have all the money, they have all the power, they can buy all the media houses, they can buy all the agents, they can lobby right, left, and center. But we don't care. All we believe in is in our Chukwu Okike Abiama. We believe in the gods of the land, that they will fight for us and lead us through. We will never stop. No matter how they try, no matter what they try, no matter what they try to do, they can never succeed. You're welcome, promise. Wherever you are watching this program from, please like and share. Let it go wide. They try to stop us, but they can't. We will continue to sensitize the world. And we will tell our story by ourselves. We will not allow people to be telling our story. They have told our story for a very long time. And each time they tell our story, they will never tell it to our own favor. They will tell the story the way that it will never favor us. Lies and propaganda. That is why it has become essential that we come online on daily basis to state our case before the whole world. And I thank Chukwu Okike Abiama, who gave us our Supreme Leader Mazi Nandekano. He laid a very solid and strong foundation. Through the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. Today, that IPOB has been redeemed from every shackles of the devil. The IPOB of Mazi Nandekano have been redeemed from the shackles of the Delilah and all the criminals around. Today, it has been sanitized, and the IPOB the indigenous people of Biafra, established by Mazen Nandekano, that is taking the plight of the people to the whole world today, has been redeemed and is under the Biafra Republic government in exile, with Mazen Simon Ekpa as the prime minister and the de facto government in our homeland. They are in charge in Biafra land today, whether you like it or you don't like it. The Biafran people have chosen their own direction. They have chosen their own path. And today, the Biafran people are speaking very, very loud, lining up their own faith and belief and thought with our Biafra program in exile, with Mazi Simon Ekpa as the prime minister. That is why we are doing what we are doing. Whatever you see our prime minister say, it is not his own personal word. He is not imposing word on anybody. Neither is he imposing actions on everybody. Whatever you see our prime minister speak about is an agreement that has been reached by every Biafran. An agreement that we have reached. And I can tell you, as you that is watching me knows very, very well, that in democracy, numbers matters. And the democracy we are talking about started from Biafra land itself. This democracy you see all this Western world telling you that they want to bring democracy to you. The original democracy, which has the right of people protected, original democracy started from Igbo land, in Biafra land. That is where it started. And you know that numbers matters. So when we come out and we tell you that the IPOB of Mazen Nandekano today is under the control of the land, that IPOB of Mazen Nandekano have chosen Mazen Simon Ekpa, and this, what they say goes, we are not making it up. A good number of the Biafran people, more than 90%, are standing with Mazen Simon Ekpa. The few 1% that you see that are perpetrating evil, sending blackmail, fighting very hard to make themselves known, are the political elite who are pursuing their own selfish interests. Very few of them. The political elites and their families, the criminal businessmen and their families, those who call themselves rich men in Biafra land, the honest and evil. Less than 1% of them, and people that we are able to convince through their bribery and corruption. They are the only people today you see them in different platforms pushing and spilling lies here, right, left, and center. Go to their conventional media, you see what they are doing. You go online, you see the information that are coming from them. Lies, right, left, and center. Even when they see somebody that is speaking the truth in that zoo, they will oppress that very person. That is why when you pay attention to their conventional media, you see the interview they grant to people. You see very good number of people that are genuine have been interviewed in that very conventional media. They always say that whatever Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic Government in Exile, is doing today is geared on releasing Mazi Nandekano. Why don't you release him? As you know fully well that Mazi Nandekano, the supreme leader of IPOB, is incarcerated falsely. He has not committed any crime known to man. And before we proceed, know the topic we are talking about today. Exclusive breakdown of mystery from Biafra Program and our Prime Minister, Master Simon Ekpa. What I am reminding you is what you should know. So many of us know this, but sometimes we pretend not to know. And it is very important that sometimes we just go round and round and talk about this issue so that the world, people who are watching, not only Biafran, the whole world is watching. And going forward, you are going to see international media coming into this matter to listen and see and hear from us. For the record, Biafran people are not calling for war. They have never never at any point in time called for war. The indigenous people of Biafra, the Supreme Leader of IPOB, said it before the whole world that we are not calling for war. But one thing is paramount. We are going to defend ourselves by all means possible, because it is our right. The enemy that we are up against, their plan is to decimate us, take our life, and destroy our nation. They are not depending on focusing on only stealing our resources. They are not limiting their evil to stealing our resources. They have gone further. They have gone further to eliminate every single Biafran in that contraption. They are working towards it. We have seen them speak about it. We have seen them act towards it. That is why we are not taking chances. That is why the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Nigeria have activated self-defense in full force. Self-defense has been fully activated. And there is nothing any man can do about that. We are going to defend ourselves. It is a right enshrined and supported by international law. African chartered law also supports self-defense. Nigerian law itself supports self-defense. We have seen in several occasions where in the regime of late Muhammadu Buhari, the Minister of Defense were telling the people to rise up and defend themselves. I am telling you, there is nothing we are doing today in Biafra land that it has not been done before. There is nothing we are doing in this very struggle of Biafra that is a crime. No, not even one. We are not committing any crime anywhere. Our focus is to defend our territory, defend our land. When Mazen Nandekano established the ESN, which they are bent on destroying today, he made it categorically clear. The videos are still online. Go and download it and listen what Mazen Nandekano said when he was launching ESN. That their duty is to protect our territory, protect our land, secure our mothers and children, secure our farmers from the hand of the terrorists that are terrorizing us. Within that period, there were numerous evidence of what is happening today. It was even worse. Our sisters were raped, and they were butchered, and their meat scattered in the bushes. On video, everyone saw it. A Biafran lady was raped. After raping her, they cut her meat into pieces and scattered it in the bush. Many farmers lost their life. What you see happening in the north began to transfer. They began to export the insecurity in the north. They were trying to export it to the southern, to Biafra land by all means possible. At that very time, when Mazen Nandekano formed the ESN, they were trying to export the terrorism to Biafra land by all means, and they started. They penetrated. Mazen Nandekano called on the governors in the southeastern zone, called on the governors in Biafra land, told them, come together and form a security outfit to protect the people, because there is danger. He did not just wake up and form ESN. He called them, gave them time. They did nothing. They did not because they didn't care. They are not there to serve you. They were there to serve the caliphate. You see, that is why sometimes when I tell you that we are not committing any crime, you are only going to think that you are committing crime when you don't know the story. If you do not know where we are coming from, you will think that we are committing. We are not committing any crime. That is why you see Mazen Nandekano in their own court defeated them. In their own court defeated them. Mazen Nandekano is not a clown. Mazen Nandekano is full of brain. He is not committed any. He did not commit any crime, any place. Remember, Mazen Nandekano was in the United Kingdom. If there is any place where you have security, where you can see people who can pin you down with a fault, it is the United Kingdom. But Mazen Nandekano was in the UK for more than a decade, preaching the gospel of Biafra, sensitizing us and saying things, yet he was never, ever, ever invited one day by the court. Police never visited Mazen Nandekano one day in the UK. He was never arrested one day for more than a decade. He has been preaching in the United Kingdom, in a place where you have one of the best security police. They know where he is, they know his house, they know everything about him. They never invited him one day. That should tell you that Mazen Nandekano never committed an offense. So when we say he's innocent, we are not just making it up. And that is why even in their own court in the zoo, they could not find any fault in him to nail him. He defeated them. And today, we are standing on that legality of Mazen Nandekano, on that foundation he led. Every single action today that our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, who yourself know that he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Not just charge and based lawyer. A lawyer that has a firm in Finland. He didn't stop at that. He is a politician. He has been a counselor. You think a man with such credentials will be doing something illegal? Do you think that a man with such wisdom, with such vast knowledge, will be committing illegality in a Western world? You must be sick. You must be sick. If you think in your dream that somebody with such credentials, a lawyer that knows very well about international law, a politician in Finland, an active politician, somebody who has contested the election and participated fully in election, do you think, and again, a serviceman, somebody who has served in the military, a reserve military officer, do you think that a man with these qualities and credentials can be doing something unlawful before the whole world? Think. Do you think that a man with such credentials will just jeopardize every of these qualities, throw it to the trash, and begin to do something that is illegal and illegitimate? Do you think in your right mind that such can happen? With all the credentials I just mentioned, and every of his credentials I'm talking about, don't think I made it up. Go and search, go to Wikipedia and ask about the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Nigeria, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Go to Wikipedia and check his credentials. I am not limiting you to what I tell you. I give you the freedom to go and make research by yourself. Whether you are a Biafran or you're not a Biafran, if you are not, whatever I say, I give you that liberty to go and make verification before you believe. A man with such credential, you think that he will come and begin to commit illegality. It is impossible. And that is why the more you try to stop him and blackmail him, the more you promote him to the highest level. The more you call him name, the more you tell the world there is one man that stands out, who is the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic and must be listened to. The more you blackmail him, you are drawing attention for the world to listen to him. And I bet you, the coming of Biafra is manifesting in a greater speed. Our enemies are the ones making Biafra coming to be much more faster and easier. Go and check. These people who call themselves the stakeholders in Biafra land. These people that claim to be stakeholders in Biafra land. Today they have exposed themselves. You know, all the while, Mazen Nandekano has been saying things. You know, one of the little difference between Mazen Nandekano and Mazi Simon Ekpa is that Mazi Nandekano tells you things that will happen when it has not happened. And he will stand by, have patience, and want that thing to manifest, and you will see it manifest. Most of the time, we call him a prophet. He's not just a prophet because he prophesied of what's good. He is very calculated. He listens and make research on things that happen and see the continuous repetition of those things, so he can be able to preempt what is going to happen next. But in the era of Mazi Simon Ekpa is somebody who sees what will happen, bring it to you, tear it open, and before he finished talking, you will see that very thing happening. You will see it happening. When Mazi Nnamdi talked about the attitude of the governors, that they are not there for you, you never understood it. In 2015, when Mazi Nnamdi was arrested, these same governors, these same criminals who call themselves elites, Ohaneze Ndigbo and the government, they called Mazi Nnamdi, the supreme leader of IPOB, for a meeting. Mazi Nnamdi went to that meeting with his own father. The video is still out there. On that meeting, they were telling Mazi Nnamdi to forget about agitation. That let them look for a life inside Nigeria. Let them go for restructuring. At least where there is restructuring, they can be able to focus on their region and develop it. Mazi Nnamdi say, good idea. Good idea. Now that you have made up your mind to fight for your people through restructuring, your own son, is going for self-determination. I will not say no to your own objection, but I want you to go to the table of negotiation with what I have in my hand, which is self-determination. When you go to the table of negotiation, your son is holding self-determination. If they offer you something which can be able to move your son, which can be able to move your people, there's no point arguing. Once they offer you the restructuring and you bring the restructuring back to us, we look at it. If it is something that the Biafran people accept, there is no need for any noise making. There is no need for any attack. There is no need for any disturbances. We go for it. They said, okay, we are going to go to the government. He said, go to the government. Once you can be able to get the restructuring for me, there is no point fighting. Once our people accept it, we go with it. After this discussion, Mazi Nnamdi left with his father, went back to Aferi Bek, and continued doing what he's doing. What did the governors do? Instead of these governors to go and pursue the restructuring which they discussed with Mazi Nnamdi and bring that restructuring and show Mazi Nnamdi, look at what we have gotten. Federal government have agreed on restructuring. They did not. They turned 360 degrees and they went and began to discuss on how to invade Biafra land and kill Mazi Nnamdi. They went and began to discuss on how to take the life of our supreme leader Mazi Nnamdi. These same governors, they lead Ohaneze Ndigbo and governors. People who have just discussed with their son on the way forward, made an agreement. But instead of pursuing their own side of the agreement, they went and turned around. The same thing Gowon did against Ojukwu. This time around, it was Ohaneze Ndigbo and the politician doing it against Mazi Nnamdi. After agreement, they turned around and they brought python dance. The python came to Biafra land and swallowed our youths. Many lives were lost. In that dance of python, that was where the parents of Mazi Nnamdi lost their life. Jack, the dog of Mazi Nnamdi, was killed. 28 people were murdered in the home of Mazi Nnamdi. Many other people were decimated. We saw grave everywhere. We saw mass burial everywhere in Biafra land. And they went further to eliminate Mazi Nnamdi. It was only by the grace of Chukwu Okeke that Mazi Nnamdi escaped. Through the grace of Chukwu Okeke, Mazi Nnamdi escaped them. And you know what happened? These same people, instead of going to what they saw Mazi Nnamdi, they went ahead to proscribe every one of us. You that is watching me, they marked you for that. Every one of you, Biafra, that is watching me on this very platform, these same people who call themselves politicians, Let me tell you, it was not an Hausa man that prescribed you. Neither was it the caliphate that, even though they were the one who did the work on the ground. But the people we knew that pronounced the prescribing of IPOB was the governors in the southeast with Johannes and They came out and they marked you. They marked me. Every one of us in the old southeastern region were marked for that. From then onwards, they continued to chase our Supreme Master Nnamdi Kanu. They continue to go after the life of every indigenous person. If you're indigenous person of Biafra, they continue to go after you. From then onwards, the only crime you need to commit is to hold the flag of Biafra and you are dead. From then onwards, the only way that your life can be smoked out of you is just to say that this man is a member of IPOB. That alone is enough to condemn you to death sentence. Who made that possible? It was the same governors, people who were supposed to stand for you. They were the ones that proscribed you and me. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu escaped, and since then to date, they continue to take life. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu never relent in the struggle. He continued to fight and fight and fight. And while he was in the distance, watching the people of Biafra wasting away, while he was in distance, watching the shed of blood and the way the Biafran blood decimated, he said no. He continued. He called them again and told them that the genocide in Biafra land is increasing. The fularization and Islamization of Nigeria is fast coming. The terrorist is taking over Biafra land. Can you please establish a security outfit to defend my people? These same governors turned a blind eyes. They pretend not to hear what he's saying. He called them, he wrote to them, each and every one of them that was governor then, he wrote to them, including Johannes and Igbo, get a security outfit to protect our people. They refused. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu went ahead to establish a security outfit. And he made a proclamation, he launched it and specified their duty. ESN was not established to fight against Nigerian military. It was not established to fight against Nigerian police. It was not established to fight innocent people. ESN was established to curb the terrorist activities that were going in our bushes, to protect our territory, our land, because it was left empty. What did these governors do? They come back together and they begin to plan their evil on how to counter the good work that the supreme leader of IPOB has done. What did they do? They began to plan, and they went to establish their own called Ebubebus. The useless Ebubago that they formed, their duty was to go after the ESN that was meant to protect the people. Their duty was never to defend Biafra land against kidnapping, against the terrorists. They were only using them to fight against their political opponents, and again fight against a legitimate security outfit that people have accepted, ESN. They wanted to discredit ESN. They wanted to paint it evil. The same template the Zoological Republic have played all the time. Blackmail. The same template they play both on the federal level and on the state level. They brought it against the ESN, and they were playing their propaganda right, left, and center, committing all manner of atrocities and blaming it on ESN. And we were busy online shouting and saying that this is not ESN. Even at a particular point in time, Chukwu Okeke used one of them to confess and say that these people are not ESN. Remember, when the issue of unknown gunmen started, that is why I say Nigerians are very forgetful. These people call themselves Nigerians. Is either they are criminally minded or they are so forgetful. People that call themselves Nigerians, very, very docile. People that have dull brain. Today, you see them when they talk about unknown government, they are looking at ESN. They are looking at Biafrans. That Biafrans are taking their own life. But they were here when the chief security of a state, Hope Uzodinma to be precise, chief security of a state, when this issue of unknown government started, when they went to prison and released prisoners, broke into prison in order to blackmail IPOB, they said those were unknown government. These people operated. The prison we are talking about is very close to a military barrack, very close to a police station, very close to the state house. These criminals operated there for hours and they released prisoners. There was no gunshot from the military. There was no gunshot confrontation from the police. Nobody confronted them, and they operated, released people, and they left. Immediately that thing happened, the next minute, they went on their media to blackmail IPOB. That IPOB broke into prison and released people. That the ESN broke into prison and released people. But fortunately for them, the same way he is making them to confess today. That is why I say Biafra is a spirit. We don't need to do much. All we need to do is to educate you and talk to you and remind you of things that happen. The main fight is fought by Chukwu Okabe himself. Within that same very time, a governor, a sitting governor in Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, the criminal you are seeing today, the devil you are seeing today, came before the whole world. Can you imagine somebody like Hope Uzodinma making a case for IPOB? Just imagine it in your brain. You know it's not normal, right? It is not, for you to just see. It's just like seeing Hope Uzodinma come out now and defend our Prime Minister and say, "I'm defending Mazi. You will know that is either something is wrong with him or he's being hypnotized. In that case, you saw Hope Uzodinma came on the national TV and said, the people that came for this very operation that you call unknown gunmen are known. We caught them on CCTV camera, and majority of them do not speak Igbos. They are not even Igbos. Chief Security of a State was saying that majority of the people who went for this operation we are caught on CCTV, and they are not Igbos. They were not speaking Igbos. He said it categorically clear. The issue of unknown government continued to spread and spread and spread, and he has came out so many times and said that this thing is politically motivated. These people, most of them are not Biafrans. Then he has not known the game. As at that time, when he was saying all this thing, the federal government of Nigeria was orchestrating this evil. They were planting this very strategy. Hope Uzodinma was not fully aware. As at then, federal government of Nigeria was in charge of destabilizing. The strategy was to make sure that the Biafra land is destabilized, to make sure that the insecurity in the north is exported to the south, to the Biafra land. That was one of the major agenda of late Muhammad Buhari. When that card was being played, Hope Uzodinma was still in the dark. He didn't know fully. He was not correct that long. That was why Chukwu Okabe used him at that very point in time to make the statement made, until they began to carry him along. Now you see, when we tell you that Nigerian government is a terrorist government, it is not something that we just wake up and say. We say it because of the events that have been happening again and again. The federal government of Nigeria used the DSS to destabilize Biafran land, organized prison break, assassinated people in order to blame it on the indigenous people of Biafra. To see a reason to go in and destabilize, to go in and militarize the area. So many of you have forgotten this very thing I'm telling you. It's something that happened, it's still online, but so many of you just forgot. Hope Uzodinma confessed and said that the people you are talking about are not Igbos, and they don't have anything to do with the IPOB or the ESN. He mentioned that ESN is not responsible for all the killings you're talking about and all the unknown government you're talking about. As at that time, he was defending the ESN unknowingly to him, until they began to carry him along and his language changes. Until they begin to carry him along and gave him the condition and his language changed. Remember when Gulag was killed in Imo State? When they took the life of Gulag, their plan was to blame IPOB, just like they continue to do the blackmail. Remember, on that day that Gulag was murdered, IPOB was supposed to have a seat at home, but Mazen Nnamdi Kanu postponed it. But meanwhile, they have already planned that strategy, and they didn't know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu already postponed the seat at home. They were trying to blame it and frame the ESN, but eventually they failed. They took the life of their own in order to blackmail IPOB. Within the same time, this same chief security of a state still came out and said, these people are not IPOB. That the people that they took the life of that very person is a politically motivated assassination. He called it politically related assassination. You know, then he was thinking it was a political something that has to do, but the political game that was there was against the Biafran people. It's not even against Hopo Zerema or the governors. It wasn't a party something. It was something that is targeted at the Biafran people, the Biafran movement. Whatever you were seeing at that very period was targeted as the IPOB, the original IPOB, established by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That was their target. But then, the picture has not been clear, and most of these criminal governors have not carried alarm until they brought Hopo Zerema fully into the evil and gave it to him as a condition for him to remain a governor. And he now, today, Hopo Zerema is the one today leading the massacre of Biafran people in Biafra land. Hopo Zerema today is the one working with the man in the creek, burning houses and destroying lives, working with terrorists against our people, including taking our lands. This is a story that you are not supposed to forget. There are certain things that you as a Biafran don't need to forget, so that when you have these things in your brain, nothing is going to move you. No propaganda will move you. You see why we are not moved? Those of us who are standing shoulder to shoulder with our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Now you see why our Prime Minister is not shaking. Now you see why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never be indicted by any law court. Now you see why our Prime Minister, no matter petition you write, can never hold water. Go to ICC, go to anywhere, your petition can never hold water. It is very important that every Biafran keep these informations in their brain. If you have these informations always raw in your brain, there is no amount of blackmail that's going to hold you. Before they start the blackmail, you will still be smiling and be laughing at them, because you know where they are going. And that is how we operate. We know the end from the beginning. Immediately the zoological republic, immediately they bring out, immediately they make a statement, already we know where they are going. When they bring out a policy, we know the target of their policy, we know whom they are targeting, we know. And that is why we are always 1,000 miles ahead of them. 1,000 miles ahead of them. That is why we are not moved. We are not cajoled. There's no way you can be able to bamboozle us to begin to shiver. So, oh, if you are a Biafran and you think you are doing the wrong thing, it means you don't know who you are. It means you're not clean. The IPOB of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is consistency personified. We are clean. Very, very clean. Unapologetically clean. Very consistent, and we know what we want. We are not committing any crime. We are not wasting any innocent life. For the federal government of Nigeria to continue the destabilization of Biafran land, they were able to penetrate the IPOB. They were able to penetrate the IPOB. Initially, they began to penetrate, and they were able, and the person they used to penetrate IPOB was Ifeanyi Ubah. Because of the absence of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Ifeanyi Ubah, whom Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have warned before. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have warned where he said Andy Ubah was going to Asorok to tell lies about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, claiming that he was working with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, claiming that he's discussing with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Meanwhile, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has nothing to do with it. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu came online to debunk every of his lies. Unbelievable that today that same man is the one today that they are people who claim to be with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu are dancing with. Now you begin to know the original IPOB. There is no way you can be part of IPOB and you will have a soft spot for someone like Andy Oba. There is no way you will be a follower of Mazen Nandekan, a hardcore follower of Mazen, and you will have a soft spot for someone like Andy Oba. A criminal, well-known criminal, a liar, a blackmailer, that our Supreme Leader Mazen Nandekan have exposed in the past. Today, you brought him in, and you see the Irat, they are promoting him. He is the one they are counting on. He is the one that is sponsoring them for campaign. He is the one speaking the same voice. He's the one that are reaching agreement. He's the one today probably that say IPOB said. Now you are getting the picture very clear now. You are getting the picture very clear. But I thank you, that in the new dimension, the IPOB of Mazen Nandekan have been sanitized, and today you are listening from the platform of the original IPOB established by Mazen Nandekan, the supreme leader of the movement. That is where you are listening today. Finally, we have been able to have a government through that original IPOB of Mazen Nandekan, that is the Biafra Republic government in exile, that is being led today by the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. We have gone further to have a de facto government of Biafra in the homeland, and today every single Biafra in Biafra land know where they take their order from. They know those who are for them and those who are against them. Today, Biafra land is being taken inch by inch, block by block, village by village, local government and local government, state by state. We are going to continue on that very dimension until the whole Biafra land is being recovered. We are not going to leave any stone unturned. Let them continue to make their noise while we do the work. Wherever you are watching this program from, if you didn't start with us earlier, I urge you to go back and watch this program at the end so that you can understand. The information I just gave today are things that have to be ringing in your memories at all the time. It is very important because we are in a time where the cook. I used to tell people, I say, you haven't seen blackmail, more blackmails are coming. More blackmails are coming. And more especially, emotional blackmail. They know how emotional Biafrans can come when it comes to human life. The people of Biafra, we value life. You see life. We value life so much that we don't joke with it. Biafrans value human life. That is why the Igbo Biafrans call human being Mando. What the Igbo Biafran call human being is Mando, the beauty of life. To show you how important they are attached to human being. So we don't waste life. Biafrans don't waste life. When you are here and you say, oh, Biafrans are killing themselves, Biafrans are not killing themselves. What you are seeing is a blackmail. And that blackmail, because of some Judas among us, they were able to penetrate into some Judas who were supposed to protect their own people. And those Judas sold out. And today, they are using this Judas against our own people. I can bet you the most of the commanders of the ESN that we have lost today, we lost them because of the sabotage of same Biafran people that we are protecting. The same people, some of them were the people who were in command with them before in ESN. After the kidnapping of Mazen Nandekan, they sold out. Ifan Yoba. Thank you, Obi Juliana. It's Ifan Yoba. Not Andy Yoba, Ifan Yoba. What you see happening today, the failures, and we are seeing today, the loopholes we are seeing today, is because of because of some people who have sold their soul to the enemies. And you see, there are certain ways you commit offense, and at a stage, you can no longer go back, you can no longer repent. Some of them have lost their conscience, and today they are working for the enemy, working against their own people, doing everything possible to stop what we are doing because they are afraid of the unknown. They know that Biafra hold no future for them because Biafra cannot condone criminality. If you are a criminal or fraudulent, you have no place in Biafra. You have no place. And these criminals, these fraudsters, they are the people that are fighting day in, day out to see that Biafra doesn't come. But I ask you, the coming of Biafra, is it in their hand? At all. It's not in their hand. The coming of Biafra, is it in the hand of these criminals? Never. They can't stop it. One thing they don't know is that Chukwu Okike Abiama will even use them to bring Biafra fast. And that is what you are seeing today. Chukwu Okike Abiama will use these people, these criminals, these idiots to bring Biafra faster. That is why you see every step they make brings glory to Biafra's struggle. And I tell you, all things worketh for good to them that love Chukwu Okike Abiama. There is no doubt that the Biafrans love Chukwu Okike Abiama. There's no doubt about that. If you go to all the Christian churches in Nigeria, go. Every church you see in Nigeria, 90% of the attendees are Biafrans. It is in Biafra land you have 100% Christians. Forget about the people who come and tell you, one person will come and tell you that he is now a Muslim. One will come here and tell you he's this and that. We know whom the Biafrans are. These are people that are very religious, including our traditional religion. Our traditionalists, the real ones, the original traditionalists, they have a soft spot for Chukwu Okike Abiama. In everything a Biafran is doing, they are very conscious of how Chukwu Okike Abiama will feel and what he thinks. That is Biafran people. In everything the Biafran people do, they always consider, how will Chukwu Okike Abiama feel about my action? That is how a true Biafran behave. Either you are a traditional religion person, or you are a Christian, or you are a Buddhist, or you are in Judaism. This is our nature. That in everything we do, we always consider first, how will Chukwu Okike Abiama feel in this? That is why you see in our names, almost every name we answer in Biafra land, more especially in Igbo Biafra, glorifies Chukwu Okike Abiama. Every name, most of the names you see in Biafra land glorifies Chukwu Okike Abiama. You see a name like Chukwu Ebuka, Ike Chukwu, Chukwu Emeka. Names that give glory to Chukwu Okike Abiama. It speaks volume. You only find out in Biafra land. You only find that in Biafra land where names are attached to Chukwu Okike Abiama. You hardly see an Igbo person. You hardly see a Biafran whom you will check all his names. In all his names, you will not see one of the middle name that glorifies Chukwu Okike Abiama. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to see a name, a Biafran name that doesn't glorify Chukwu Okike Abiama. That is how closely attached we are to Chukwu Okike Abiama. And that is why he will never leave us. That is why in all our failures, in all our stubbornness, in all our weaknesses, he has continued to lead us. In all our disobedience, in all our stubbornness, he has continued to give us a leader. It is because he knows that we are his people and we love him. And one of the reasons why we are fighting hard is for us to have a nation where only the name of Chukwu Okike will be glorified. It doesn't matter how you want to glorify the name. You can glorify the name of Chukwu Okike as a Christian. You can glorify the name of Chukwu as a traditionalist. You can glorify the name of Chukwu Okike in Judaism. The most important thing, let Chukwu Okike be the pinnacle through which everybody will look upon. That is the most important thing for us. That is the nation we want to have. And that is what we are working towards. You see why the evil people will not allow Biafra to come. You see why they are fighting it. You see why they are fighting the coming of Biafra. But are they going to stop it? Impossible. No human being born on the planet Earth can stop the agenda of Chukwu Okike. It is not my project. It is not the project of Master Simon Ekpa. It is not the project of Master Nandekano. This is the project of Chukwu Okike to restore his own nation on the planet Earth, a place where he will worship in truth and in spirit, to set an example for every other black race to learn. I bumped into a write-up that once somebody wrote. There was a write-up I saw. Somebody wrote about the exploit that Biafrans made. How Biafrans were able to progress even in an impossible situation. The person made an illustration, and you begin to see that in Africa as a whole, from that very 1967 till date, it has always only been Africa that we are people that, it's only Biafran people that have been able to make impact, develop themselves, make exploration, invent things, have their scientists inventing on their own. Since that 1967, they have been the only people who were able to survive independently on their own without relying on any human being anywhere elsewhere. From 1967 to date, it is only Biafra that we are able to do it. There has never been any other nation in Africa that has been able to survive on their own, manufacture their own thing, live on their own, and even for a month. For a month, it has never ever happened. The only nation in Africa that has been able to live based on their own capacity, manufacture their own cars, manufacture their own ammunition, use their own scientists to do exploration, manufacture their own bomb, be able to refine their oil by their own self, make their own telecommunication system by their own self, their hospitals operate by their own self, maintain their own airport and build it by their own self without any foreign investor coming from anywhere. The only people that have been able to do it is Biafran people. From 1967 up to date, there has never ever been any other country in Africa that was able to do that. Now you see why they are scared. Now you see why they don't want to progress. And to show you that Nigeria will never ever ever survive. If Nigeria were the people that had good intention, if they had good intention, they would have cashed in into the exploit made by Biafra during the Civil War. If Nigeria meant well for the indigenous people, not only for Biafra solo, I'm not just talking about Biafra. If Nigeria meant well, if it was a country that was established to favor the people, as I always tell you, it is a company. It wasn't made for the good of the Biafran people. It wasn't made for any good of any indigenous person, regardless whether you are outside Igbo, Yoruba, or whatever. Nigeria was not created to favor you. If Nigeria were meant to be a country that would develop, that was meant to benefit the indigenous people, they should have cashed in into the achievement made by Biafra during the Civil War. The Biafran people made a great achievement that no country in Africa have made up to this moment as you're watching this video. Up to this moment, as you are watching the video, no country have ever made it. Biafra lived on their own for 3 good years, produced their own food, manufactured their own car, build their own nuclear weapons, build their own ammunitions, refine their own oil by themselves, build airport by their own self. Every of their services, they maintained it by their own self. Communication by their own. They were talking to the whole world through their own homemade equipment for 3 good years. There has never been any country in Africa that repeated the same thing up to this moment as you're watching the video. If you know anyone that have done it, can you please write in the comment section and tell me? Let me go and learn. If there is any country in Africa that have been able to survive on their own without any help from anywhere for even 1 month, write it on the comment section. Let me go and educate myself. This was the achievement of the Biafran people. But because you are dealing with a wicked Pharaoh and the plan was not to favor the indigenous people in that contraption, what did they do? They destroyed every traces of our invention, including the resources, including the researches that we made during the war, the research that is supposed to be kept well. They burned it and destroyed every evidence and research that we made during the war. Every scientific research. Every nuclear research, they destroyed every paper to this last one. There was no evidence everywhere. An act of wickedness. You see why the white people are better. White people, when they came to your land to exploit you, they didn't destroy your thing. What they were doing is that they even take your gods and go back to their own country. That is why up to today, you are still seeing people bringing things that they took from Africa, from the UK and whatever, and returning it back. That is why you saw last time, the Benin Kingdom, we are going to return one of their image that was stolen. The white people don't destroy it. At least they take it to make use of it. That is somebody at least who has conscience. Somebody who has a good mission. Even if they came, they have come to exploit you, but they had a target to exploit you, not to exploit you to develop their own self. You see it in the line of what do I call it? In the line of self-preservation. They were trying to preserve themselves. Use what you have to preserve themselves. They had a target. Their own was to take what you have and now develop themselves. But you see, in the case of Nigeria and Biafra, their target was to destroy every traces that had to do with Biafra. The intention wasn't even to maintain peace. It wasn't even to establish a nation that will favor everybody. That was why even in the 3R, they did not attend to the 3R, not even one. The 3R, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and reintegration, none of them was attended to show you that their intention was never to establish a level ground for people to operate. Their intention was not to make peace, it was to destroy the people of Biafra and everything that come with them. And they went ahead, including the investigation that was done, including epistles that were written that was to have made Nigeria a greatest nation in the world. If they had good intention, if they have capitalized on the achievement that we made during the Civil War, 3 good years, in the face of bombardment, we were doing exploit. In the face of bombardment, 3 good years, we were still living and surviving. Everything that the country has, we have it. We operate, we manufacture every single thing that we used during the Civil War. Instead of them now to cash into it, exploit it, and then tap into it and be a better person. What did they do? They destroy every evidence of those facts, including murdering the scientists that were working for us. Destroy their papers and every fact that had to, they destroy everything. Go to Ojukwu bunker. Some things you are seeing there are things that are, some of them we are burnt and destroyed. We just decided to recover some of them and paint them and then keep them there. Every research book they destroyed and burned to ashes. And today, look at them. Look at them. The progress Biafra made in 3 good years in the face of bombardment of war with nothing. They can never, ever, ever achieve it in their lifetime. I am telling you that in Africa, there has never been any African country that made the success Biafra made within 3 years of civil war in the face of bombardment. Now, when we tell you that Biafra is a light for Africa, when we tell you that Biafra will mark the beginning of Africa, the rising of Africa, when we tell you that Biafra will bring liberation to Africa, that is it. We don't just open mouth and say things because we want to make you happy. We don't just open mouth and say things because we want to entice you. Oh, we want you to clap for us. We don't just open mouth and say something out of wickedness. No. It is not out of wickedness. It's not out of hate. We are giving you facts. Everything we say here is based on fact. That is why everything I say, after listening to me, go and make your research. Go in. Don't just go and sleep. Don't just take it to heart. Go and make your research. After making your research, you will come back and you'll be convinced that you are fighting a just cause. Before I go, I have to remind you, whatever you are doing today as a Biafran, don't allow anybody to emotionally blackmail you to make you feel you are doing the wrong thing. You are not doing the wrong thing. Your seat at home to demand for the release of Mazen Nandekan is a legitimate call, and it is not something wrong. It's not wrong. Get it straight. Sit at home, civil disobedient, is the most peaceful democratic way of people airing their opinion, more especially when you are dealing with a tyrant. Civil disobedience is acceptable, generally acceptable, the most legitimate and the most peaceful way of airing your opinion democratically. Civil disobedience. So don't allow anybody to blackmail you into thinking that you are doing something wrong. You see the sit at home that is coming, the 2 weeks sit at home. Prepare yourself. They are going to blackmail. But the most important thing that don't allow your own self to be the instrument of blackmail. Do not give your life for them to use to blackmail us. Are they going to stop? They will never stop. They will stop at nothing. This coming sit at home, they are going to unleash mayhem. But people that are going to fall victim, you see, when they will come and announce it and say, hey, come out, don't mind them, come out, there's no more sit at home, we will not obey Simon Ekpa, we will not follow him. It's not about Simon Ekpa, it is about Biafran people, and Biafran people have spoken. The same people that will tell you to come out, as usual, they will be the same people to take your life and use it to blackmail the IPOB, to blackmail Master Simon Ekpa. Let me tell you, once you are gone, you are gone. We continue to pursue Biafra. If you decide to give your life and they take it away, you are gone. It will not stop us from asking for Biafra. We are talking about 70 million people. So if you take away one person, that will not make us to stop demanding for the freedom of others. It will not stop us. The only good thing you can do for yourself is to remain consistent. Be focused. Continue to pursue and listen to the right people. Listen to the original IPOB of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which is today the Biafra Republic Government in exile, under the control of our Prime Minister Mazen Simon Ekpa, and on the supreme leadership of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That has been settled. It is no longer an issue of argument. The argument of who is following Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who Mazen Nnamdi Kanu stands for, it is no longer there. That argument is dead. After watching the video that one of the Irat made, where he was calling for the head of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, after watching a video where somebody was saying that they would have done away with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and saying that we should leave Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to die in prison, after that, watching that video, now you know where everybody stands. You know the direction of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. They said if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cannot listen to them and follow them, they are ready to take his life. Since that he's not listening to them, they should allow him there to die in prison. Are you getting the message? One of them, I don't like mentioning names. All those people, they don't deserve their name to be heard in my platform. They are too small. All those criminals, they are too small for me to mention their name in my platform. I don't. But most of you that is watching me, you must have seen the video where an idiot, a clown, where a 10 was calling the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and that 10 was saying, we would have done away with him since, and people kept silent. Since you don't do away with him, up to the extent of going to talk against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and his family. And he went ahead to say that since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not listening to them, is not sending message through them, that they will allow him to die in jail. Let him remain there. After hearing that word, are you still asking a question who to listen to? Are you still asking who is the follower of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who is not? Today, the difference is clear. Choose you this day where you are going to be. Are you going to be in the side of truth or in the side of falsehood? Are you for life or you're for death? Are you for freedom or you're for slavery? Make your choice this day. As for me and my family, we have chosen the path of truth and the way of life. And we will not go back. Make your own choice and be proud about it. Whatever choice you make, be proud about it to speak about it. That will show that you know what you are doing. Whatever choice you make, be very proud to announce it to the world, the same way I am doing. I thank everyone who has participated in the very program. Wherever you are joining from, any part of the world where you join from, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect you. Every Biafran all over the world that are genuinely and sincerely pursuing the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and the freedom of Biafran people, we shall see freedom in our lifetime, and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will definitely be released. I appreciate every Biafran. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect all the Biafran people. guide and protect everyone that is genuinely seeking for freedom on the planet Earth. You will see freedom. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect the ESN, the Biafran Liberation Army, the BNL and their leaders. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect all our media warriors that are speaking on different platforms. May Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect all the members of the cabinet of Biafran Republic in Exile. May Chukwu Okike continue to guide and protect all the Umuada who are doing exploit, guide and protect them and their families. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect all our media warriors who are putting their life on the line, speaking on a daily basis. May Chukwu Okike be their stronghold and secure them. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect our Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Nigeria, Mazi Simon Ekpa, wherever he is. We place him in the security of Chukwu Okike. Let the legion of angels of Chukwu Okike continue to guide him in his going out and his coming in. No weapon formed or fashioned against him, spiritually or physically, whatever ambush they have led, will never succeed. Every hole or pit they have dig, every hole or pit they have dug for our Prime Minister, they will definitely fall into it. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. We commit Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the hand of Chukwu Okike for divine favor, for divine healing, for divine protection, for divine revelation. Wherever Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is, may Chukwu Okike take charge of his life, give him long life in the land of the living. We want to celebrate him in his lifetime. We want to celebrate his heroism in his own lifetime. He will live and see his children. No weapon formed or fashioned against we, the Biafran people, shall prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, will prosper. No weapon formed or fashioned against our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, will prosper. I appreciate every one of you that have joined me on this very broadcast. You can equally join me again in the evening when I'll be broadcasting in King David Exploit Expose. I will be there in the evening to shed more light on the thing that is happening. I appreciate every one of you. Join me in all my platforms. When you don't see me here, I am either in King David Exploit Expose or Chooks for Survivor page, where I play the live stream of our Supreme Leader, our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. I will see you again in the evening by the special grace of Chukwu Okike. Thank you so much and stay blessed. See you.